are all over the place. We're ready to go when you are, mate. Beautiful. Welcome back to the Meadows for Sky Racing Active's coverage of the Australian Cup Carnival, Night 3, Australian Cup, Rookie Rebel, and of course the Fanabale Stays. We're joined by a very special man, myself and Nathan Rooney, the Hawk, Ron Hawkswell. And I just wanted to start with a story of the Hawk to just bring out his true character. He's a great man and one of the gentlemen of the Loam. I'll never forget, it was one of my first OBs here at the Meadows, and I just rocked up. And the Hawk goes, "Oh, g'day, Mark, and how you going?" And I didn't know where I was. And Hawk said, "Jump in, we'll get a bit closer and go to the VIP parking spot and I'll take you in." Just a sign of what a gentleman and a lovely man this bloke is. Hawk, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Mark and Nathan. Yeah, great to be here too. And yeah, fantastic night. Always one of the great races on the calendar each year. It was one of the races I really enjoyed, the Australian Cup, and it's a great rendition tonight too.
And it's great that you're still around and still enjoying the greyhound racing and still on track. I saw you at Flemington a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago as well, so you're still well and truly in the racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to go to the races occasionally. You go with Matty Hill occasionally to the sports, and yeah, greyhounds will come out here. Sometimes on a Wednesday night, bring Eddie and Olympia out. Eddie, of course, the past chairman of Olympic Park and here at the Meadows. And yeah, I've known Eddie for many, many years, probably 50 years. So, story there was that Eddie's kids used to bring me up supper at Cranbourne. First meeting at Cranbourne was 31st of August 74, and Eddie's kids used to bring me up supper. And I've been a great family friend and really admire Eddie, what he did here too for the MGRA. Overall, an Olympia, lovely person, and sort of been friends with the family for so many years, and it's just nice to be able to return some of the favours and bring them out here on occasionally on the Wednesday night and on the important nights here this evening.
He's been the soundtrack to many wonderful calls in our lives in racing too. It's one thing I knew growing up in Tabs. These guys were my heroes, listening to them call, and so many iconic calls. Is there any that stand out for you, Nath, of the Hawk in big feature races?
I'll tell you what the hardest part is. When you're a form analyst and you're doing form every day, I turn on a Geelong race and expect to hear the Hawk's voice, and I don't. And it's I've gone through years of videos and it's just always Ron calling, you know, and now you don't. It sounds very different, but he's been a wonderful caller, as you just touched on. He's called his first Australian Cup was 1984 right through to 2022. So
1984 Tango. I can't, you can't forget that memory there. All the kids were decked out in the yellow with David Fitzgerald there with Tango, and a mighty performance. Of course, one of the great races was the Cranbourne Cup, Tango and National Star. And Tango, and that was a battle royale. And Tango came out and won the Australian Cup in front of a huge crowd, which they always were, at Olympic Park. They probably packed, 3 deep around the back straight, the big nights, and the roar from the crowd when those big races were on. And some of the great races. I saw Odious actually win the Melbourne Cup. I wasn't calling, but that was 76 Odious. She was one of my great favourites. But Australian Cup, it is one of the great races. It has been one of the great races over the years, and always will be too.
Hawk, let's get stuck into this upcoming race. We'll get your comment of form as well. Orly Bale's the $2.25 favourite. Paul Kilter's at $3.30 from the red. Reiterate from box 5 is at $3.60, and Ren Bale from box 8 is at $7. Have you got a tip? Do you like anything in particular in this race?
It's always a tough race. The 600, probably the inside draws have got to be the 2 top ones there, 1 and 2. But yeah, because of the box draw, I think that they're probably the 2 hardest to beat here.
Paul Kilter.
Yep, yeah, 1 and 2. I'd say they're the top 2 at the 600 start here for the next.
And Nath, Grenfell Kennel and Delbridge Kennel already with winners tonight, and they've got the top 2 in betting. Who are you with?
Yeah, definitely with Orly Bale, a greyhound who's been racing at free-for-all level and group level throughout his campaign. Now comes back to a grade 5 over 600. He maps to be the early leader. He can run 29.3, 29.4 at Sandown on the arm. He should be able to get on the lead here, and I think he could just coast along. The track seems to be rolling for front runners. Just all suits really well for him. The main market rival, Paul Kilter, has been racing in mixed grade 6 and 7 and restricted win company. So you got one, from free-for-all group level, and then the second favourite's the one coming up through the ranks, only won 4 races. So I think he's just really well placed, Orly Bale. Paul Kilter doesn't have a great deal of early speed either, so as Ron touched on, with the corner start, should be able to get straight across to the pain, and then but he had to dictate from the front, and that's when he's at his best. So he was quite good in being runner-up at Sandown on Monday night in 29 and 50, and always put in my notes, Mark, it was a finish on lure meeting.
Okay.
So a greyhound like him, it's a good reward because he's a greyhound who can zone in and out in his races. So I think it's a really smart training move, that finish on lure on a Monday night, steps up to 600 here tonight. I think he's the one they got to beat. I've marked him odds on. I'm surprised he's not odds on. 225, I think it's well and truly a bet.
A reminder as well to anybody tuning in as Sky One is about to join us. Tim Zoo to run top 3 at $5. Max bet $10, but still it looks like a decent enough way to earn $40. You can get that through the QR code that's about to go on screen. Coming up race 10, of course, the Group 1 Australian Cup, the last of the 3 Group 1s this evening. It's going to be a fantastic race. But before that, we have the quaddie to get underway. We've got a very special guest with us for anybody tuning in on Sky Racing 1. You'll know who he is. You'll definitely know the voice. The great Ron Hawkswell has decided to join us, telling us a few tales from previous Australian Cups. But pressure's on here, Hawk. Give us a winner. Give the people on Sky One a winner.
Look, Wally Bale, as Nathan said earlier on, it's got to be mighty hard to beat here in box number 2. Look, I like in the Cup tonight, I like Vincent Bale, particularly money back 2nd and 3rd if it doesn't win. I was very keen on, I looked at the race again, you see the speed with the 4, 5 and the 6. You just wonder where Vincent Bale is going to end up, but I think a great chance of when he's flying the greyhound at the moment. I think he shouldn't miss running 2nd or 3rd and getting your money back. So that'd be my go. Have a crack at Vincent Bale, number 3. A light investment there. Just an interest in the big race, the Sportsbet Australian Cup final. It's going to be another ripper.
Good to have you with us. Stick with us because for Sky Racing Active viewers, we'll have more of a chat. Just relive some of the old days. Nath, numbers for our Sky One viewers?
2, 5, 1 and 7. I was pretty keen Ollie Bale could dictate from the front here. Genuine free-for-all campaigner over the sprint. I think the 600 shouldn't be much of a concern. Should be able to get to the top, dictate from the front, put a bit of a gap in a mid-race and then coast to the line. A little bit of late money, 220 into even money now. I think it will start odds on in my personal opinion. 5 reiterating for second. First up for a month, been up over 700. Can get on speed and certainly be doing its best work in the concluding stages. For third, number 1, Paul Kilda. Form's been very good. Been in mixed grade 6 and 7s and restricted win class. Big step up in class here. Doesn't have a great deal of early speed. And then for 4th, number 7, Divine Nature. Good Sandown winner. Drawn upside down. Prefer it off an inside draw. 2, 5, 1, 7. My number's the Meadows race number 5.
We've had 2 500s, 2 600s, and winners have come from boxes 5 out. Let's see if we can get a winner from the inside traps with James Vandermart to kick off the quaddie.
In now. So they're loading for race 5. Not sure the 600's going to really suit him, to be honest. He's a greyhound that really suits when he can drop on them late. Ollie Bale, he might get a bit of time to think about it tonight. They're set to run the green light. And they're racing. He jumped well, did Ollie Bale, and he's going to go straight through and set the tempo clearly over Aston Reeves, who moves up about 2 lengths away. And Paul Kilda's got a nice clean run to 3rd. And he's got some fast dogs to go after in front. They're clear to Ren Bale. A break to Oakland Bale and then Reiterate and Divine Nature. But it's Ollie Bale tearing along down the back. 5 or 6 to Aston Reeves. And now Paul Kilda to the outside, but he's still got a lot of ground to make up. Ren Bale's whacking away, and then Oakland Bale as they turn. It's Ollie Bale on tight legs. Paul Kilda is flying home. Ollie Bale in front will do enough. Ollie Bale won at 1.5 lengths at the end to Paul Kilda, who was thumping home at the end from Ren Bale. And then Oakland Bale, and they got away to Aston Reeves, Divine Nature. And it was one of the last to clock in with Reiterate. Favourite too quick, and the time 34.
Ollie Bale, too good in the 5th at the Meadows. The second favourite of the night home at 210 and 120. Paul Kilda 140, the second favourite, and Ren Bale was in for 3rd. Time 34.451. So a good win from out in front, but still not as quick as Paul Phelps. The Grenfells with another winner, Nath.
Yeah, he just had the early sections in at 887, 2175s, red hot splits. But we know what he can run over the 500. He's done that throughout his career. He had a slow beginner in 1. He was going to get straight across to the lure and to the arm. And then from there, he was able to dictate from the front. 1270 run home. Most probably doesn't indicate a genuine 600-metre type, but that doesn't surprise me. He's going to be a front-running stayer. He'll measure up in the final, no doubt, but he'll need to lead to win. Paul Kilda stepped up in class. We touched on only a 4-time winner from 21 starts, been racing in restricted win and mixed grade 6 and 7s. Really closed off strong. I'd expect that greyhound to get 650 and beyond, so he might be one to take out of the race. That might get further as he gets more mature and more experience. Ren Bale, no surprise to see it rattling home into third. It was a 650 metre Warrnambool winner last Thursday evening, so it's got the miles in its legs, and Oakland Bale in for fourth. But yeah, full credit to Wally Bale, very well placed by the Grenfell Kennel. Used the Grade 5 series here to full advantage, being a free-for-all at both metropolitan tracks over the sprint distance.
Orson Allen, the sire of Wally Bale, Corey trained as well.
Yeah, he's a wonderful
Won a
greyhound.
Perth Cup.
Yeah.
Won another Group 1, was it in Queensland or was it here?
There
was another one anyway. I was there the night he won over in WA, and I'd like to think that I was the lucky charm for Corey, spending the first part of the evening. And then I said, mate, nick off, you've got to go put your suit on. Over there, they still make them put the suits on, which I think is a fantastic tradition, a tradition dating a long way back, and not to make you feel old at all, Ron Hawkswell, but
remember it.
you would have seen it all. You would have seen it all, especially for all these Australian Cups that you've called. Take us through a few of the superstars that are on this honour roll. Brett Lee sticks out. You've got Velasat, and then in more recent times, Dinah 111, Fanta Bale. Brett Lee, what was he like to call?
Fantastic, and the time he ran in the Adelaide Cup, of course, was outstanding when he won that unbelievable time. But he's winning the Australian Cup was a breathtaking performance, very, very exciting. He had that great early speed. 2003, we had the dead heat between Blackjack Tom and Most Awesome.
Did you have a go?
No, I sat on the fence.
Yeah.
Splinters.
and got it right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then China Trip, 92, 93, the double.
Tim Zoo looking to do the same tonight. Ronnie, Tim Zoo, he's looking to go back-to-back and join that elusive role.
You can't say no, can you? His last couple of runs have been outstanding, particularly 2 runs ago. Last week was off the charts as well too. You couldn't say he can't win it. He's in such great form and such a ferocious chaser, a hard chaser. You could never rule him out, but you think in these races he's going to be conceding a start, and that's the worry. But he's in rare form, and so is the kennel.
Yeah, for sure. Going through that role of greyhounds that you've called, tell us what it was like to call, Dinah 111 first and then Fanta Bale. What was it like to call those two?
Yeah, 2 sensational performers, Dinah 111. I always say the race, Dinah 111 and Fernando Bale at Sandown Park's the best race I've ever seen. I didn't call the race, Brendan Delaney called it, but I was there in the crowd watching the race, and that's one of the best races I've ever seen. As I said, the National Star Tangian race at Cranbourne goes back many, many years, and that was a fantastic race. Of these other greyhounds, I said the dead heat there, Bogie Lee, what a sensational performer. Down the track, I'm missing it, yeah, Queenslander, yep. And then, of course, down the track, you've got, as I said, Dinah 111, Fanta Bale. Yeah, what a versatile greyhound, a mighty versatile greyhound, and what a truly great honour to have the race named in her honour this evening. Then Dinah Paddy, Tommy Shelby, what a crowd favourite, Tommy Shelby. Well, he was one of the real greats there. Lalo Key, Fernando Nick, and also Tim Zoo last year. But it is one of the great races. I remember some of those fantastic scenes from Olympic Park, when you had the model leading out the trophy, the parade for the greyhounds going to the box at that time. I think it was outstanding, and the Nilix scoreboard in the background with the placings coming up there. Just some fantastic memories, and the memories of Olympic Park. It was absolutely jam-packed. The betting ring, it was ferocious. It was a hive of activity. Huge money was being held there. Huge money was turned over. Some of the big bookmakers there worked. I've just been recently talking to some of the guys at the race on Saturday that worked there, and just some great scenes. And we had guys like Paper Jack, some great performers there. So I should know that. Should know the technique with the mic. But some great scenes from Olympic Park. The administration there was fantastic. The late Kenny Carr. Now we have the Ken Carr Medal, of course, which is a regular thing, and I'm pleased to say that I played a part in getting that award named the Ken Carr Medal. So to me, that's very fitting, because I think he's probably one of the best administrators I've seen in sport overall, and a great man as well. So. Yep, some wonderful memories. And Sandown, of course, some great Melbourne Cups there too, and big races. So, yeah, it's been some wonderful memories over the years.
All those wonderful, soft, gentle memories. Now I just want to get stuck in. I've been wanting to ask you this since you've stood next to us. Was there ever a time where you were calling a race and you had a good double going, or a good bet, wanting something to win?
Not particularly, no. Because
did you mix the two?
No,
Did you have
particularly at the latter stage, I didn't bet. I didn't bet on the greyhounds. But I'd love to bet on the races. Like say Saturday afternoon, I bet on the races. Maybe interstate racing, but if I was working over the later years, no, I didn't bet.
Yep.
No. It was just one of the things that I was, I had a family to bring up, so all those sort of things. So.
And didn't want to skew your judgment either.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just thought I preferred not to. But as I say, if I went to the race on Saturday afternoon, I'll have to have a bit of a play around there. So, that's my out, is to have a punt there. So,
Hawk, it's wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming and having a chat to us. And it's great to see you still at the racetrack and being able to enjoy it after so many long years here in the industry. You can still come out now and be a participant. Mate, all the best on the punt tonight as well.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, been a pleasure. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you,
great.
Ron.
And keep the great coverage going too. I saw your show yesterday, the replay of the Australian Cup preview and also the three big races.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That type of thing can only do the industry great. Well done. And yep, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the night now. Thanks, guys, and thanks, folks.
Thanks, Ron Hawkswell, joining us here on Sky Racing Active. Hawk's going to pass the baton over to one of my favourites. We had Corey here, Scott. We've had Ron Hawkswell. We also had Scott Wukash. I could listen to this bloke talk about greyhound racing just ad nauseum. The amount of knowledge yourself too, Nathan Rooney. Jeff Britton, I speak of course, multiple Group 1 winning trainer. Jeff, how are you going?
Yeah, good. Yeah,